Allen Hynek, the famous scientist that led Project Blue Book.
Yep.
He came in the same week, interviewed them. They did a medical exam, saw wounds where they said that they felt something injected in their body to make them. And I believe the story of Greys, like so many experiencers, so many contactees have witnessed so-called abduction incidents, which, I'm a firm believer at this point that is a credible phenomenon. Whitley Strieber, he discusses...
Says he's got a chip in his ear or something.
Does Whitley have a chip in his ear?
I think so. He's got like an alien chip or something. That's what he claims. Claims he had sex with an alien.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty common, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
There's
a guy who lives like fucking 7 blocks away. That dude from what the hell's his name? The old guy. He's not really with it anymore. He's like 95, but he made that claim. Danny Jones knows it. I forget his name.
Okay. Oh,
he does all the artwork where he paints it.
Like the alien with the long black hair and stuff. I
guess, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's like a documentary called like Love and Aliens.
Yes,
or something
that's
like
it.
That.
That's the guy.
Yeah. There you go. So that's a thing. That's discussed quite often. But you've got interesting data there. Like you've got Betty and Barney Hill, who represent that same sort of story. Travis Walton has something similar to that. They didn't have like black eyes, but they were, spindly, short, large craniumed, non-human intelligence that were there when he woke up on this craft. You've got, who else? I just released this docu-series called Pascagoula 73, where these... Do you think the mic disconnected or something?
We're good. Go ahead.
Okay.
Good.
These 2 Mississippi men were fishing on the end of a pier in 1973, the night of October 11th, and they saw a light come to them. It arrived behind them. Next thing you know, these 3 entities hover down out of the craft, grab them, take them on board. One gets taken to one room, one gets taken to another. The 19-year-old, who's Calvin Parker, he ends up recalling that there was like a female-looking non-human intelligence there. He said she was kind of flat, but, if he saw her at a bar and had a few beers, he'd sleep with her.
That's dangerous these days. You need to do a leg check. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. I got what you're saying there. And then you got these other entities that had gray skin, no eyes, no mouth, were like floating around. They were kind of like robots. And Charlie Hickson, when he was in the other room, sitting in sort of like the suspended animation process, an orb came out and like revolved around his body, scanned him. And they were both terrified. They were completely awake the whole time, deposited back on the river, and they went to tell the world. And that's now a pretty famous case. Allen Hynek, the famous scientist that led Project Blue Book.
Yep.
He came in the same week, interviewed them. They did a medical exam, saw wounds where they said that they felt something injected in their body to make them, more relaxed and go limp. He said these men seem credible. And this is a guy that for, decades leading the Project Blue Book study, was saying that, this stuff is all prosaic. There's a reason for it.
Hey guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It's a huge, huge help. Thank you.
So I feel like there are abduction cases that may be real. And Lou even brought up abduction in his book, Imminent. There's a recent whistleblower, somebody who's come forward on Matt Ford's podcast, John Blitch.
Oh, so you're talking about something different than I thought you were. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that there's a lot of testimony confirming that there's a phenomenon where people are being taken on board craft beyond their will throughout history, and the Air Force gets involved and examines it. Police officers examine it. Apparently sometimes the CIA examine these cases. And if there was nothing to that, there wouldn't be trace evidence, there wouldn't be wounds, there wouldn't be radiation that people apparently were. Even John Burroughs, this is the guy that said he saw a craft off the Bentwaters base in Rendlesham Forest.
Yes.
He was examined by Kit Green, and they found traces of radiation.
Yes, that's true.
Damage to his body. And he said he interacted with a non-human intelligence and, went in kind of like was part of this craft experience. A little bit different from Pedersen, his experience where he just touched this like triangular physical craft. But, later on, Senator John McCain actually tracked down he tracked down the service record of John Burroughs because John Burroughs had this heart valve issue. He was trying to claim his veteran benefits, medical benefits, to get that covered. And the Air Force was not allowing that because they said you didn't serve at that time because his records from the Rendlesham incident had become classified and scrubbed from being accessed. So believe it or not, Senator John McCain he was informed of this by Kit and Hal Puthoff.
Hal Puthoff, yeah.
Senator John McCain ran this up the flagpole and got, this address because he was somebody who protected veterans and as a veteran himself, and they got his medical benefits covered as a result of what happened, what he was exposed to at the Rendlesham Forest incident. So if he did not get sick from experiencing a UFO sort of contact experience there, and then if he did not get that experience, how did he get his medical benefits covering that? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There seems to be trace evidence to certain credible stories. And Pascagoula 73, that story about these two men that were supposedly abducted and had this whole experience, and the Air Force got involved at one point. The police department got involved. Leading up to that, there was a UFO wave happening in Mississippi. Like literally, Sheriff Fred Diamond and other police officers gave their testimony that they saw that object that night and previous nights and nights afterwards during the month of October, the month of the month of November. There was an object in the actual river that the Coast Guard intercepted, like a USO. So we know through documentation that actually existed. And I feel like there are real credible cases in the UFO community that people can go after and they can sink their teeth into real relevant data of that happening. But a lot of this stuff that gets turned into UFO-tainment, it gets presented on Gaia TV and so on and so forth. It's almost like an op. It's like
sometimes it feels that way. Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.